At this time, any member of the public may address the council agency on closed session items appearing on the agenda. The speaker should have a limited time of 3 minutes. Please be brief and to the point. And anybody here in the room has a comment about the closed session meeting, closed session item? If not, we have anybody in the Zoom? No, okay. So we will now go to the closed session, and we should be back at 6:30 or so. So if you are here for the rest of the meeting, just wait. We're gonna come back.
Yes, and I'll just indicate for the record that we have 4 items for the closed session. One is the claim of, we have 3 claims, and then we also have a discussion concerning subrogation demand. The claims are all taken pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, and the subrogation is 54956.9A through 2.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So we are returning from our closed session item, and I'll turn this from our closed session, and I'll turn this over to our city attorney, who can provide a report on our process.
Yes, Mayor and Council, with respect to item one, your claim was denied unanimously. Direction was provided to the city attorney, no other action taken. With respect to item two, the claim, it was noted that the claim has been tendered for defense to the underlying consultant, but also the city has rejected the claim as well. The direction was provided to the city attorney. On item number three, the claim was rejected and denied. And direction was provided to the city attorney, no other reportable action taken. And with respect to item number four, which was the subrogation demand for 1428 Montgomery Street, Monterey Street, direction was provided to staff and legal counsel, no other reportable action was taken.
Thank you. So we'll proceed to our next item on our agenda, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. So at this time, if I can have you, and if I can have Sergeant Mazda, what about time? Oh, Lieutenant.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one
So with that, we'll move on to additions or modifications. Modifications, we have that. So we'll move on to our public comment. So at this time, any members of the public may address the council on items that are not appearing on the agenda, but are of interest of the public and are within the jurisdiction of the city council. So just to note, we do have 3 minutes. And when you speak, if you can come up to the podium, and please be brief and to the point. So we just ask both the public and obviously the council to maintain decorum during the public comment portion. When making comments, public comments, please refrain from making personal attacks or derogatory comments. So with that, I will open it up to our public that's here, in our interim, chambers and our interim council chambers. So I'll open it up here first, and then I will take it out to those that are joining us via Zoom. So anyone from the public here would like to make a public comment on items that are not available? Okay, seeing none, then I will take it out to those that are joining us via Zoom. If there's any numbers that are joining us via Zoom. Diego, sorry, I didn't get a log on, so you can make me analysis. Recording in progress. I don't see any members of the public that have hands raised for public comments. So at this time, I will close our public comment section, and we will move on to our next item on our council report, and that's our youth council providing a report. And so we have our members of the youth council. Welcome.
Good evening, council members. My name is Angela Flores, and I'm a senior at Soledad High School.
Good evening, council. I'm Giovanni Bravo, and I'm a junior at Soledad High School.
We're here today as members of the Soledad Youth Council as youth commissioners to present our update. We're excited to share highlights from our recent work and initiatives we've been working on and leading this past quarter. So last week, we launched our life skills classes survey to hear directly from students about what courses they'd like to see offered in the future, such as like driver's education and like basic financial literacy. And so far, we've collected 135 responses, and we're continuing our outreach to get even more feedback. Moving on to our South County Youth Summit. Over the past few months, SYC commissioners and other Soledad Youth Council members have been meeting both on Zoom and in person with the Gonzalez and Greenfield Youth Councils to plan the upcoming South County Youth Summit. Each of us have been working within our communities to help bring the event to life. The posters and RSVP registration link are now finalized to open for students and organizations to sign up. Today, we tabled at our high school and got people to register for the event, which is pretty exciting. And also, as a reminder, the summit will take place on May 24th at 10 a.m. at Greenfield High School. Several members from our council will be attending to help support, so we will see you there. And moving on.
So what meant to be done is a collaboration with the community center. In this quarter with the SYC members supporting the community center in the real world survival guide. This event helped guide students between workshops and assist with tasks throughout the day. As well as looking ahead, we were assisted with the incoming weeks. We continue promoting the life skills classes survey to gather more student input. And our team is also preparing for the South County Youth Summit by finalizing the logistics and coordinating outreach with our partners. As we approach this, we will begin working on our final youth council report. To conclude this quarter, the Soledad Youth Council has remained active and committed to fulfilling and uplifting youth voices in the community, from launching our life skills class survey to planning the South County Youth Summit.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for that report and all of the work that you guys are doing. I just also wanna highlight that you were all featured. Go back here. You guys were all featured in Senator Laird's April's newsletter. April, but it came out in May. And this is the meeting that you had with them, so congratulations. Doing the advocacy piece also with our legislators and meeting with them to let them know what you guys need. Thank you for amplifying all the voices of our youth and solidarity. We really appreciate it. And all your efforts in being on the skills training, which was amazing. You guys had over 100 teams there. And so that was pretty astounding. So council, just any questions or comments for our youth council? Let me start over here and then I'll work my way down. So council. Sorry, but I know I saw Councilwoman Rose raise her hand, so let me do it in a coordinated manner. So we'll start on this.
Thank you guys for your report and just your energy and getting the excitement with all the students that are participating in the life skills. That's great. You said May 24th at 10 a.m. at Greenfield High School?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Cabrera?
No, again, just thank you guys for a lot of work and hopefully you get more members. So they can see how it is or and the effort you have to put to lead someone to lead an organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Burns,
I do have a question about the survey for the life skills. Would that be like something that you're interested in to have like at the school, or can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I think it would be more so for after school, but also if like depending on like who's interested and like the feedback, maybe it could also be like at the community center. So I guess it really just depends how we will what we will do with the information given, you know. But I'm thinking maybe both possibly. But yeah, it's subject to change.
Are you going to present the survey results to us and to the school board as well? Well, that was kind of what my question was.
No, thank you for asking.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really exciting. I remember when I was in high school. Not a long time ago, that was something that we were interested in, because I remember that they had this. When my cousin went to high school, they had like driver's ed and stuff, but by the time I went to high school. We didn't have as much of these life skills courses that I think are really important. I think especially now too, and then when students are interested in stuff after high school, they don't always know where to begin, you know, and I think we prepare them for if they're interested in going to school, but other than that, I don't know. So I think this is a really exciting idea. I'm excited to learn what the survey results are going to be. So thank you.
Thank you.
I also want to mention that I really thank you for your time. I believe, getting involved with the community and getting involved with, the other youth is very, it just sets a, precedence, to what your future is going to be like. And, you guys are, on that path to be great leaders. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and we look forward to your next report.
And through the chair, I just wanted to acknowledge Jessica Potts, who after Jesus's departure took on the youth council and is helping continue them through the end of the year. And I acknowledge your shirts that Jessica helped you get going. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are very professional. Thank you for that. So with that, council, we'll move on to our next item of business, which is council presentation, and we have 5 of those. So just kind of to reiterate to the council and to the public, I'm gonna each one of the council members was gonna take one of the proclamations, and then they're gonna read it. And they'll make some comments. The rest of the council doesn't necessarily need to make any comments unless you really have a burning desire to do so. But in order to make sure that we're moving forward with the process, and I know this is something we have discussed as a council. So we want to make sure that we get to those items that we really want to make sure that we have a fruitful discussion. So having said that, then I'll move on to the first item, which is a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad recognizing May 4th through May 10th as Public Service Recognition Week. And I think I want to take that one only because I worked for the City of Salinas for 20 years and I'm a public servant and continue to be one, and I know how critical our public servants are for our city. So a lot of the work that you see that's going on, a lot of the work behind the scenes with all of our departments is really due to the work that our public servants do and our employees. And so I want to make sure that I'm able to recognize them as part of a public servant as well. So whereas the public sector plays a vital role in serving the needs of our residents, providing essential services, promoting the common good, and upholding the values of accountability, transparency, and integrity. And whereas the City of Soledad's dedicated public servants work tirelessly in government, agencies, departments, and organizations to contribute to the well-being and progress of our communities, striving each day to improve the lives of those that they serve. And whereas Public Service Recognition Week offers an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the contributions of our public sector workers, highlighting their commitment to public service, professionalism, and excellence. And whereas many public servants, including military personnel, police officers, firefighters, utility operators, embassy employees, healthcare professionals, and others risk their lives each and every day in service of the people of the United States and the world around us and the City of Soledad. Whereas public servants carry out the most fundamental purpose of government to ensure public safety and represent the public interest in addressing social, economic, and political challenges. So now, therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Soledad here proclaims the week of May 4th to May 10th as Public Service Recognition Week, and we encourage all of our community members to join us in acknowledging all of our public sector employees, their dedication to ensuring the city and our communities continue to run smoothly. So if you see one of our amazing and dedicated employees out in the public, please make sure that you thank them, recognize them, and acknowledge them for the work that they do. So we have a proclamation. I want to again say thank you. We'll take some photos, but we'll wait at the end until all the proclamations are read. So I know we do have some of our city employees here, so I want to make sure that they get an opportunity to come up and take a photo. So we can give them a big round of applause. Okay, so I will move on to the next proclamation, and I will hand this over to Councilmember Gonzalez Sanchez, if he can read it into the record. And I can take over. This is a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad recognizing the month of May as Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Whereas Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders have made invaluable contributions to the history, culture, and economy of our nation and our community. Whereas AA and HPIs have played a significant role in shaping the fabric of our society, from their contributions to science and to the arts, to their leadership in business and government. Whereas it is essential to recognize and celebrate the rich diversity of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders, cultures, traditions, and histories. Whereas this month provides an opportunity to learn more about the accomplishments, challenges, and experiences of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islander communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Soledad does hereby proclaim the month of May as Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in the City of Soledad. And be it further resolved that we encourage all residents to learn more about the cultures, traditions, and histories of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islander communities, and to celebrate their contributions to our community and to promote understanding and respect for all. And I think it is especially important to recognize this month as well, because it was a federally recognized recognition month for this community. However, as many are aware, that on January 20th, the Trump administration rescinded this as a federally recognized month for the community, and I just wanted the community to know that the City of Soledad still stands behind the community and us to honor this month. Thank you.
Thank you. Our third proclamation of the City Council recognizing the month of May as National Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'll hand it over to Mayor Pro Tem Cabrera.
Whereas since 1949, the month of May has been dedicated to addressing the challenges faced by millions of Americans living with mental health conditions. And whereas mental health conditions affect millions of individuals worldwide, transcending age, gender, race, and socioeconomic status, and often carrying stigma and discrimination, hindering access to support and treatment. And whereas raising awareness about mental health promotes understanding, compassion, and empathy, encourages early intervention, and reduces the stigma associated with mental illness, creating pathways to recovery, resilience, and hope. And whereas Mental Health Awareness Month serves as a crucial reminder that no one is alone, that help is available, and that together we can create a culture of compassion, understanding, and support. Whereas Mental Health Month celebrates the resilience and strength of individuals living with mental illness, recognizing their courage, determination, and achievements in overcoming obstacles, seeking help, and embracing hope and healing. And now, therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Soledad does hereby proclaim May as National Mental Health Awareness Month. During this time, we recognize the importance of mental health, honor the experience of those affected by mental illness, and reaffirm our commitment to providing mental wellness and resilience in our communities.
Through the chair, I think Beatrice is gonna
introduce quickly the.
Yeah, good afternoon, Council. I'm Beatrice Trujillo, Community and Economic Development Director. And I just want to acknowledge our local behavioral health, but also our county representatives from behavioral health that are here. I know that as jurisdictions, we don't necessarily provide services in behavioral health, but it doesn't mean that we don't build partnerships to make sure that our residents are actually thriving within the programs and policies that we create as a city. Behavioral health is such an important component to make sure that our residents can actually benefit of those programs that we are trying to set up for them. One of our latest partnerships was with the behavioral health department. They have been a great support for our unsheltered project. And I just really want to acknowledge their commitment and their support. And I don't know if one of them wants to do a public comment, but I will have to go for that.
Yes, that's okay.
Very much. Thank you very much. On behalf of Monterey County Behavioral Health, I sincerely want to thank the city of Soledad for this meaningful proclamation recognizing Mental Health Awareness Month. We are honored by your continued support and leadership in promoting mental wellness in our community. And this proclamation not only highlights the importance of mental health, but also acknowledges the collective efforts of our dedicated staff and many local partners who help us provide compassionate care and support. Together, we are building stronger, healthier Soledad and South County, one where everyone feels seen, supported, and valued. Thank you for standing with us in this important work. And I'd like specifically to give a shout out to Judith Herrera, who is our unit supervisor here at the local clinic, as well as Phil Sherwood, who's our program manager over all of our South County services, who really lead the way here in Soledad and South County. And I'd like to share, if it's okay, just a brief statement about a little bit about our team and about the services that we provide, just so that the community is aware. Since opening our doors in the summer of 2013, our Monterey County Behavioral Health Soledad Clinic, Mente Sana, Cuerpo Sano, Healthy Mind, Healthy Body, has been dedicated to connecting individuals and their families to quality behavioral health care. We provide assessment, linkage to services and treatment for mental health and substance use disorders for individuals of all ages. We recognize the importance of accessing mental health services to help our community members lead healthy lives, foster recovery, learning, creativity, peace, and contribute to their community. 8 out of 11 team members based out of our Soledad clinic currently live or previously have lived in the city of Soledad, giving them a really deep understanding of the community's needs. They are a dedicated group of individuals who provide services with compassion and care every day. Together, our Soledad Behavioral Health team has developed mission statements as a testament to their commitment to South County. The team reviews these mission statements regularly during team meetings to ensure that they remain focused on the mission of providing these vital services for our community. And if you'll indulge me a minute, I would like to invite Judith up here to just share those mission statements with you, and then we'll wrap up. Thank you.
So our mission for Access is we are committed to identifying the needs of our community members to connect them with the appropriate services and resources. We provide advocacy, instill hope, and empower individuals and families to pursue healing and safety. We provide a welcoming and accepting environment, striving to provide quality services with heart. And our mission for our adult system of care program, we are committed to helping individuals identify life goals, increasing motivation for change, and increasing independent living. We empower individuals and their support system so that they may believe that recovery is possible. We plant seeds of hope, strengthen support systems, and we help individuals live a life that is in line with their values and dreams.
Thank you.
So thank you again for inviting us here today to receive this important proclamation. It truly is an honor, and in the spirit of Mental Health Awareness Month, we are having some welcoming and informational events at our regional clinics. And I'm happy to leave flyer here for the ones that are coming up, but we do have one May 14th from 1 to 3 p.m. here at our clinic at 359 Gavilan Drive in Soledad. And so can I please give you? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and thank you for those words, and we all know that mental health obviously is something that's really vital, and a service for our community members, and know that in this space, and especially in, you know, in this current platform of uncertainty, there's a lot of mental health concerns and needs, and thank you for what you do, Judith. I know I haven't been to the clinic, but I've been there, and I know your team does a lot of great work, so thank you for providing those services here, and obviously we need more mental health resources, right? But we're glad that we have that clinic, that services here in Soledad. Thank you. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to our next proclamation. And it's a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad recognizing May 4th through May 10th as National Small Business Week, and I'll turn this over to Councilwoman Quinones.
Whereas small businesses are the backbone of our economy, driving innovation, creating jobs and fostering community growth. And whereas the resilience, creativity, and dedication of small business owners contribute to the vitality and diversity of our local and global markets. And whereas small businesses embody the entrepreneurial spirit representing the dreams, aspirations, and hard work of individuals and families across our nation. And whereas in the theme of this year's Small Business Week, empowering business owners for the future. All four of our small businesses have demonstrated that Soledad is the perfect place to start a new business. And whereas the City of Soledad, through our community and economic development department, will continue to support any resident who wants to open a small business. Now, let it be resolved that City Council of the City of Soledad hereby proclaims a week, May 4th through the 10th, as National Small Business Week. We encourage all community members to join us in acknowledging the vital of small business play in society and patronizing our small businesses. So I just wanted to also share a little note regarding our businesses. You know, it's the heart for all these small businesses, and me as a consumer, I actually, you know, learning the background and learning the behind the scenes of where our money stays, and, you know, and also continue to shop local. And I just wanted to say, you know, a quote, don't worry about being successful, but work toward being significant and the success of naturally flowing with each other as a small business owner. So I just wanted to also recognize one of our small business owners is Irvin Pisano Ortiz with the Soledad hair company here.
And if you can come up, if you want to come up, if we want to make sure we give you some time to be able to recognize you, but also to be able to share a few words. Thank you, Nancy. I think you do the introduction.
Yes, so we could have picked any business owner, but I do work with a lot of them, and when Irv's work has actually stood out, and I want to say why we chose Soledad Hair Company. So Irving has not only contributed to our local economy as a small business owner, but he's contributed to our youth. A lot of you may not know, but he's a perfect example of when you say small business owners are the heart and backbone of our communities. He really is. He's someone who lives through the truth, through this truth every day. Through his generosity, his commitment to others, and the love that he has for the city of Soledad, he's committed himself in his work. And one of the things that I want to share with you is a couple of his contributions. Back in August of 2024, he did a fundraiser, which at that time provided approximately 250 free backpacks filled with school supplies at the beginning of the school year. In addition to that, he also gave out 80 free haircuts to students, preparing them for their school year. That's someone who really wants to give back to his community. He's also an active member of our Soledad Rotary Club, where he supports year-round services. And the last thing I want to say is that I've seen him online and what he does, and he is constantly sponsoring local teams. Not only just the teams themselves, but he invites people to come in and learn. He's actually doing classes for the youth on how to be a barber. So he has a great heart and he's always looking for ways to be innovative and not only that, but always to give back to Soledad. So for this, I want to bring Irvin. You have something?
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I want to thank Bensia and the city of Soledad for the recognition. It's an honor to highlight my business, for National Small Business Week. We've been in business for 13 years here in the city of Soledad. And my business is community oriented and we'd like to get back. I recently joined the Soledad Rotary Club where I do community service work and we'll get back. So we do a lot of fundraising, we get back to the schools. And that's my business. I started to give back, and also we started this annual backpack giveaway. So at the beginning of the year, each student gets a backpack and a haircut to prepare them for a school year. So it's gonna be an annual event that we're gonna be having, and it's I'm just proud to serve our community, and I'm here for anybody that needs a haircut or service that saw that function.
Thank you. On to our fifth and final proclamation for today, and that's a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Soledad recognizing May 11th through May 17th as National Police Week. And I will turn this over to our Councilmember Caldera.
Whereas law enforcement officers across our nation dedicate their lives to safeguarding our communities, upholding the law, and ensuring the safety and security of all citizens. And whereas these brave officers face daily challenges and risks in the line of duty, demonstrating courage, professionalism, and selflessness in their service to others. And whereas National Police Week provides an opportunity for all Americans to express gratitude and appreciation for the tireless efforts and sacrifices made by law enforcement officers, as well as to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. And whereas the dedication and commitment to the Soledad Police Department contribute significantly to the preservation of peace, justice, and the rule of law, thereby enriching the fabric of our society. And whereas the Soledad Police Department continues its tireless effort to engage the community through pop-up events, community engagement, and citizen academies. Now therefore, let it be proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Soledad hereby proclaims the week of May 11th through May 17th, 2025 as National Police Week. We encourage all community members to join us in acknowledging the vital role that the Soledad Police Department plays in our community. This time we'd like to ask Lieutenant Santiago to come up. And for all of us, let us express our heartfelt appreciation for keeping our community safe and thriving.
So we're gonna wait, sorry, so at the end, don't leave whoever received the proclamation, because we're gonna pause for a few minutes and then we'll take photos.
Am I allowed to say?
Yes.
Good evening. On behalf of the Soledad Police Department, I would like to first off thank council, mayor, city manager, and of course the city of Soledad for the recognition of National Police Week through the proclamation. This week is a time to honor the brave men and women in law enforcement and also remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. Your acknowledgement today is a powerful message of appreciation and unity, not only to our officers, their families, and our community members. We just again like to thank you for your continued support.
Thank you. So, council, for the public, at this time, we're gonna take a 5-minute recess so we can make sure that we have photos with all of the agencies that received the proclamation today. So with that, we'll just take a 5-minute recess and then we'll come back for continuance of our meeting. So Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you for your flexibility. I know the recognition is really important. It does take a little bit, but I think it was a lot of great recognitions for a lot of the different agencies and some of our, obviously public safety, which is really critical to our city. So thank you for the flexibility to be able to do that. So now we'll reconvene our meeting, and with that, we'll move into our consent calendar for today. We do have for our consent calendar, we do have 12, we have 12 items on our consent calendar for today. So I'll start with if there's any members of the public that wish to pull an item from the consent calendar. Okay, seeing none that is here in our council chambers, I'll ask anyone that's joining us via Zoom, if there's anyone that wants to pull an item from the consent calendar for further questions or comments. Okay, seeing none, then I will bring it to the council. If there's council has any items that they want to pull from the consent calendar for questions or comments.
C9.
Okay, C9, I have a question on that as well. Okay, and I'd like to pull C8 and C10. Okay, if we have no other items to pull, then I'll entertain a motion to approve all the consent calendar with the exception of C8, C9, and C10. Okay, I have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Okay, there was a second by Councilman Juan Salvo Sanchez. Heard that word. Okay, so with that, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, any abstentions? Okay, so motion passes unanimously. Okay, so with that, I will move on to item C8. And this is on the rec department activity report. I know Jessica left already, so my desire to pull this only was to provide an opportunity for our rec director to be able to make a little brief comments on the life skills, the youth career life skills day. It was an amazing day with a lot of great partnerships. As I said, we had over 100 youth. It was a combination with our youth group support, Monterey County Workforce Development, the school district, and a lot of other entities that made that day possible. So since she is not here, then I will just say congratulations to her and her team and everyone else that made this possible. And we hope to continue the partnership with Monterey County Workforce Development, because there was a piece of that it was a life skills training, but there was also a youth job fair. And I know we had worked with the Monterey County Workforce Development to be able to do a job fair in the past, a job fair getting ready for the summer, that we are able to provide them with those opportunities. But this obviously combined with the Youth Career Life Skills Day was an amazing day. So I just want to thank everyone who made this possible, and we hope to continue expanding that for next year.
And through the chair, I really did want to give Jessica a huge shout out. If you are so inclined, I would just encourage the council to reach out and thank her, because she really spearheaded this concept. And she's also been really helping with the youth council, I think, zero in on some of the life skills and taking it to the next level. So it was our first annual, but maybe it's a thing that we continue, and just really kudos to her. She did bring a lot of partners who came together, but it was, I think, her inspiration that resulted in that event. So
yeah. So thank you so much. And Megan, I think if we can do like just for the community and to be able to post just a little summarization, and then you guys do really just a one page that contains all the information. I think it's important for our community to see, especially on the youth aspect, because I know sometimes people think we're not doing a lot in terms of supporting our youth, and this was a really amazing example. So if we could do that, that would be great.
absolutely. And I think next month's report will talk about the tremendous success of the Alice in Wonderland performance too. So more to come for Rec and Parks.
Perfect, and then we'll move on to C9. And I'll turn it over to Councilman Gonzalo Sanchez.
I have a couple of questions and comments about this item. I see for that the permit fees have remained at $10. May I ask why it hasn't changed?
Hi, good afternoon, council. I am Luna, Senior Planner with City of Soledad. The fee has always been $10 from what we recollect in the history of the permit itself. In order for us to change that, we do have to update our fees as well as a whole. And consider a higher fee increase for the staff time that goes through the preparation of these permits. And then time that comes over for review for the city council as well. So that's something to consider as we update our fees within the next, hopefully the next fiscal year.
And then I would have like I guess thoughts really, I think a lot of people are interested in obviously purchasing fireworks and celebrating. I think for me, what like comes up is that it goes into the night, people work, I know it's on a Friday maybe this year, if I'm not mistaken. But then there's like also just a lot of debris all over town and stuff like that, and I don't really see any like regulation of that, or like I just wanna know like what the impact is like to the city of like cleanup of like things that kind of get left over from having fireworks and stuff like that. And I think maybe in the future, having that sort of consideration or that presented, just so that we know the impacts, and maybe that can kind of go into when we're looking at, if we are looking at increasing these permit fees, that kind of goes into that as well, so that we know like if any city resources are being used for cleanup, so that we can kind of go to that. And also just like for the public as well, like I'm not saying no fireworks, right, but I also want the public to be aware and be mindful that this does cause debris, this does cause issues, and just to be safe and to be careful. This fireworks can go crazy. When I was younger, when I lived on Granada Street, our neighbor's house, a firework went into their roof, so just like making sure that you're being safe, making sure that kids are away, you know, we don't blow up their hand either. I just want to do my due diligence, like recognizing that, like the community know, but also highlighting that piece that we don't want garbage all over town. Also, we want to make sure that our streets and our sidewalks remain safe and then clean. That's really the point that I'm trying to also.
Thank you, Councilmember Gonzalo Sanchez. So we will defer that to come back to the council in terms of that specific discussion to be able to answer those questions. For tonight, I want to make sure we stay on topic because this is more of approval of the fireworks and the permit applications that are before you. But I do hear your concerns, and I know that we've expressed concerns in the past to have before we approve any, I believe the last year we said that before we approve any funding in this next year's budget on the fireworks, that we wanted to come back and have a discussion with the council and with the community. So that will be coming back. So thank you for pointing those additional items that we can add to that discussion. Okay, anything else? Thank you. And then on the application piece, I pulled it only because I know we have some of the organizations that are here that did submit their application, which are regular, the longstanding agencies that have submitted the application. So we have the Lions Club, we have Liberty Chapel, and I don't know if we have. We have Victory Outreach and Liberty Chapel, so we have all three. So I wanted just to allow for opportunity for them to share any thoughts, and so we will make sure that we just stay restricted to 2 minutes if that's possible. So if anybody wants to come up and just.
Any thoughts you're saying?
In regards to the application, obviously we have your application, but any other comments in relation to the application? Okay, so there's no questions in relations to the application, then I will send it back. Well, Ariana, I know one of the comments that I had is just in terms of reviewing again the ordinance. Obviously, there's a lot, it's an old ordinance, right? And there's been a lot of updates that we can do now with some of the current, in light of some of the current issues that have existed. But I think for me, just the reporting part of it is really critical. If we can have a standardized report form that is consistent, so the applicants, it's part of the application process, they have the reports, they know what they need to be reporting, we know what's mandatory as part of our ordinance, and those reports, in regards to the expenditures, how they utilize the funds and the costs, and how much the revenues were received out of that. So thank you guys for doing that for many years. I know it hasn't been, it's been a little bit more flexible, but I think moving forward, having a standardized report, is gonna be really helpful.
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay. So let's move on to item C-10. And, this is, I'll turn this over to John, to give us an update on this.
Hi, Mayor, did you have questions on this item, or did you want me to describe it?
Yes, I think there was just some questions in regards to the contract, the proposal, and why the city, at least for me, in terms of why we were requesting a higher amount, and just some of the differences on that, so if you just wanna.
So yes, unfortunately, there was a typo in the contract in Exhibit A of the staff report. It reflected $58,700. That must have been left over from a previous contract or something. The proposal for $62,200 and the staff report and resolution that reflects $62,200 is the correct amount. And then we're asking for a 5% contingency for a total of $65,310 to replace the HVAC, the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system in the motor control center at the water reclamation facility.
Thank you, and I think that was maybe I think that was the only correction, we wanted to make sure it was noted that everything is consistent across the contracts.
Right. Yeah, that was a discrepancy. Why is the contract for a different amount than the resolution and the proposal? So it was a typo.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so with that, council, then I'll entertain a motion to accept consent item 8, 9, and 10. So moved. Okay, I have a motion on the floor. Second by Councilmember Caldera. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone. So we'll move on now to, thank you. We'll move on now to our the business items. Looking at two documents here. Yeah, so it's resolution number 6255, a resolution of the city council. The city of Soledad approving a contract change order for construction services with Monterey Peninsula Engineering for the amount of $70,344 for a total not to exceed of $447,294 for the Soledad Fire Department aero apparatus phase 1, project and authorizing the city manager to execute said contract change order on behalf of the city of Soledad.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. Alex Holmes with the Assistant Engineer with the City of Soledad Public Works Department. What Darlene just passed out to you folks is an updated resolution. Unfortunately, a typo made it through at the very end, and I highlighted it on the back side of that page. So that's what you guys have there before you. As you mentioned, Mayor, the item before you tonight is a contract change order for the construction services with MPE for the App Bay project. It's a change order, but it's composed of 3 different parts. The first part being at the result of a pre-construction meeting had between PG&E and project team staff. The original point of connection or the power source that we were anticipating to use wasn't reserved for us. The school district unfortunately beat us to the punch, and they had taken it for their point of connection. So we had to go to the next nearest utility pole to tie in for ourselves, thus requiring additional time, labor, and therefore the change order portion of that. The second being is the underground portion of the fire sprinkler system. That's to bring the water line service to the building, so it charges the fire sprinklers. And the last one being the miscellaneous items that we encountered throughout the project. We had some minor items that surfaced while we were working, some of them being like when the eucalyptus trees were removed, there was a remnant of a tree root ball there. It was something that was, that MP could have handled there and then. It was much easier and cost effective to have the existing contractor working there instead of having the tree people who took it down originally come back out here and potentially charge us a mobilization cost. There's other items such as additional concrete work that surfaced. There was additional base rock that was required just to make sure we had a solidified base section for the foundation, certain items like that. So with that being said, all these three items here, or all those comprise of this contract change order, and staff is recommending that council consider and approve the contractor before you tonight.
Thank you, Alex. So let me take it out to the public first to see if there's any questions.
Sure.
And so, just so our viewers know, we don't have any members of the public here and our chambers, so I'll take it out to those that are joining us via Zoom if there's any questions or comments on resolution 6225. Okay, seeing none, then I will bring it back to the council if there is any questions, and I'll there at this point, if there's any comments or questions on this item. Councilmember Caldera.
So the total additional amount is 70,344.
Correct.
Additional to what?
To the base contract, yes.
Councilmember Anselmo Sanchez.
And then this is coming from, prior to impact fees, is there something that, is it like extra that we have that we're dipping into, or is it something that we've done because of it, like what is it replacing anything?
I'm not entirely sure, are you saying that we're using, that this extra work would constitute the use of the fire impact fees?
Or that's where it's being funded, correct?
Correct.
So then, I guess my question is like, is it just extra that we have, or like, where's it?
So in other words, were those with fire impact fees that we're going to use earmarked for some other purpose?
Yes.
Use it's being displaced as a result of this.
No,
Okay, yeah.
the fire impact fees are for an expansion, so we're limited on what it can be, and this is clearly an expanded facility, so this is an appropriate use. We collect those fees over time to basically increase our capacity. That's what a development impact fee is. It can't be used for like maintenance or anything like that. So this is an appropriate use. We have planned to use this, the fire impact fees plus ARPA to get the project completed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Cabrera. Okay, no questions from Councilwoman Villalobos. I don't have any questions, but I'm gonna make my statement, which I typically do in regards to contract change orders, because I think it's really important. I know you guys are doing a good job, and there's a lot of activity that we have, but as, again, I'll stress just in terms of the projects that we have and reducing and minimizing the need for contract change orders, as those are unanticipated. So I'm glad we have funding for this, but there's other circumstances that we may not, and so just making sure that the continuous oversight of really scrutinizing the proposals and the work that needs to be done is really done upfront, so we can minimize the contract change orders. Other than that, thank you for all the work you guys are doing. I know there's a lot of projects. Okay, so council, with that, then I will entertain a motion to approve resolution number 6225. Okay, so I will give it to Councilmember Cabrera, Mayor Pro Tem Cabrera, and second by Councilmember Sanchez. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to our next item of business, which is mayor's reports and acknowledgements. So we're doing good, Council. Okay, so I'll start, and I have several items. But on the 17th of April, I met with Megan, which is our standing meetings that we had. On the 19th, I just want to say I wasn't able to make it to the Easter hunt. It was my son's birthday, so I wasn't able to be there, but I just want to say thank you and shout out to our rec department and our Soledad Lioness clubs because they did an amazing job. I saw the photos and there was a lot of happy kids, hunting for eggs. On April 22nd, I completed my ethics training with the Senate and that's part of my employment, but it also satisfies the requirements that we as elected officials also have a mandate every 2 years to take this course. So I just wanted to make sure the public knows that we are mandated to take the ethics training and mine was completed. And on the 23rd of April, although I was not in attendance at the Cal Cities Legislative Summit and Councilmember Marcelo Sanchez was there, on this day, Cal Cities Latino Caucus held the Latino Caucus Legislative Action Day Symposium that included updates from various legislators. I am a member of the Latino Caucus and also on the legislative committee that coordinated the symposium, which I was glad, Councilmember was able to join. And on April 24th, met with Megan again as part of our standing meetings. On this same day, I also was one of 4 panelists at Cal State Monterey Bay Women and Women Leaders in the Community. So we had women from various sectors sharing experience and challenges in the hopes to inspire the next generation of women leaders. And I didn't know, but U of B has a majority of female students on their campus. So other women included in the panel was Mindy Carpenter from the ag industry, Catherine Avila from Avila Construction, and Denise Gus, the superintendent of Monterey County Office of Education. And then on the 26th of April, I attended the Líderes Campesinas Dia del Niño event that was held at the community center. We had, I believe, over 100 families and children. They also received a $5,000 grant from T-Mobile to purchase bikes, toys, foods, and giveaways. So I just want to say thank you to Líderes Campesinas for holding this great event. There was a lot of happy kids, and thank you to T-Mobile also for their contribution of $5,000. And then on the 27th, I attended El Día del Empresario, which is the day of the entrepreneur event that was held in Salinas by Pajaro CDC, which we have a MOU with. And I was excited to see Soledad residents that were interested in opening up their business, and they had lots of great workshops, and hopefully we can replicate something here in Soledad. On the 28th, I have a listening session with Líderes Campesinas, our local chapter, to hear about their concerns and just highlights, families are struggling with reduced work hours, high cost of groceries, high rents, housing overcrowding, and a lot of anxiety due to the immigration policies, and mental health concerns were also highlighted during the conversation. On this day, I also attended the Monterey County LAFCO meeting. Highlights is LAFCO will be initiating studies for 37 county special districts. And we have the second public hearing for the 2025-26 budget that was approved. On this same day, I also attended the Salinas Valley Mayors and City Managers meeting that was held in Salinas. The highlights were Salinas Valley tourism, preparing for the Caltrain's arrival to Salinas in 2028, and the need for more hotels in South County to support our future tourism. And then on the 25th, the city of Soledad hosted the Monterey County Mayors Association meeting. So highlights from that meeting is discussions on current legislation, opposition of SB 7679, which is high density housing near transit hubs. And just to let the public know that the city is engaged in legislation. There's a lot of letters that we initiated for opposition for legislation. And we do have a legislative committee, so I don't know if there's an opportunity for us to put some of those letters on our website. And on the 5th of May, I attended the Tansy Rail Committee. And on this day, I also met with Gabriela Lopez from our Central California Alliance for Health. And then just have one more minute. Yesterday, I met with Sergeant Santiago, and I met with Chobanish Sumshar and Abigail Saldana of Monterey County Health Department to discuss the logistics for bringing a Narcan vending machine to Soledad. MST had installed it at 2 of the transit locations, and Salinas has another location. So there's more to come. I just want to say, a lot of things going on. I'm not going to do all the announcements, but we have a lot of different activities in Soledad. So please, residents, make sure that you're logging on to our website, looking at our social media posts, because there is a lot. And today I attended the employee recognition lunch. So again, thank you to all of our City of Soledad employees. So that's all I have. Thank you. And then I will turn it over to Councilman, to Mayor Pro Tem Cabrera.
No, I don't have nothing.
Okay, I'll turn it over to Councilwoman Bernardes. Oh, she left. Okay, I'll turn it over to Councilmember Marcelo Sanchez.
Yes, on April 19th, I was able to attend the egg hunt, emceed by Councilwoman Benolos. It was really cute, and also I was able to attend the swim team, pop-up, shops, I guess, no vendors come and they do fundraising for the Soledad swim team, which was nice. I was part of the inaugural Soledad swim team, back in 2009. And I was in it for 4 years. I got MVP my senior year, you know, nice things. On from April 23rd to the 25th, I attended the city leadership summit, leadership summit. So I was able to meet with several folks. I met with Senator Claire's office. I met with Cal Fire. I met with the state. And then I also met with Speaker Rivas's office. And I also was able to meet with the Department of Pesticide Regulation. And I want to let folks know that Spray Days California was launched in March 2025, a first of its kind statewide system that provides information before California restricted material pesticides are used in production, agriculture across the state. And this is something that has that was developed over 4 years with extensive public engagement. And I just wanted to highlight that we have folks from South County as well that were part of this and helped make this happen. We have former Councilwoman Yaneli Martinez from the city of Greenfield and Safe Ag Safe Schools that were really part of this as well. And I wanted to highlight them. I also was able to attend the Latino Caucus Symposium, and all of that happened in 1 day, and it was back to back, and it was a lot, but for some reason, I had energy throughout the whole day as someone that is a little introverted. And then I was also able to attend other really cool workshops. And one that I really liked actually was the ending one that talked about what makes every generation vote. So it went from the boomer generation to Gen Z and kind of what engages them in voting. I think that's something that's really important. Especially as we want to engage more folks to be part of their political process or civic engagement, whatever it may be. And then also on April 30th, we had our Salinas Valley Pride Celebrations board meeting. And I also wanted to take a little bit of time, point of personal privilege to just highlight my disappointment in the Supreme Court allowing the Trump administration to uphold the transgender ban of military service members. I think that it is really upsetting and just shows that, you know, the LGBTQ+ community continues to face adversity, especially our transgender community, and we still have a long ways to go. But I know that here in the city of Soledad, we want to ensure that we let folks know in these communities that we are here for them, that we care about them, and I just wanted to make that piece as well.
Thank you for those comments as well. We'll move on to Councilmember Caldera.
On April 18th, I attended the unveiling of the Brazil mural in Chula, along with County Supervisor Alejo and County Supervisor Lopez and Councilmember Banuelos. I think it was very touching, and I really had a great time with all the history behind it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to city management report. Oh, sorry, yeah, Councilwoman Manelos.
So I do apologize for drinking a lot of water, guys. But anyway, so on April 17th, I did attend the Salinas Valley Waste Authority meeting as board of directors. It was just a great board meeting because we had recognitions for a lot of high schools that have council. And I wanted to, you know, kind of bring up to the notch and have them come here to Soledad High School. So those are the things that I'm having conversations with, and it's going to be a great opportunity here for City of Soledad and for the high school, because, you know, we want to recycle, we want to reuse, and just, you know, compost and then the backbone of it. April 18, along with Councilmember Caldeira and also Supervisor Lopez and Alejo, I attended the unveiling of the Braceros mural in Schular. It was a great experience. Just to understand the history of the Braceros and me knowing two of them, you know, in a personal level, because those are my friends' fathers that came and the Braceros and even Mr. Salcedo. Sing, you know, making a song and you know, bringing that song to the Braceros, it was a great experience. On the 19th, I was the MC for the Easter egg hunt, at Cesar Chavez Park, and, you know, props and congratulations to, partnering up the Soledad Parks and Recs, the Soledad Mission District and Lions and Lioness Club, and Councilmember, Sanchez did attend, so he was there for quite some time, so it was really nice. And there was a lot of families enjoyed it, you know, and there was face painting, there was different stations, and then there was, you know, free food. So it was a really good turnout, and it happens every year. The 21st, I did attend, the 4th of July meeting, that's gonna be, starting our festivities. Just to shout out, you know, I know Colleen has been reaching us, a few of you, for our reverse draw that's gonna be set for May 23rd. I also did attend the healthcare meeting on the 24th at Eden Valley to acknowledge Maria Lupe Nikita, for her 20 years of service. At the healthcare, it was a great meeting, and I did stay there for a couple of items that were on the agenda, and also the 26th of April, I did attend Dia del Niño at the community center, hosted by the leaders de Campesina, along with Mayor Velasquez and also Supervisor Lopez presented a proclamation on that day, and I did get there a little late, but it was such a great turnout. I mean, having these kids, love kids, just having a great event, and then also the donations and sponsoring, props to T-Mobile doing that sponsorship. And then last one, sorry, is the 30th. I did attend the Children's Day hosted by the Soledad PD and Reina, and La Reina, on Wednesday the 30th. It was a good turnout in spite of the high wind advisory. But it was a good turnout, and there was a lot of raffles with Soledad PD and also La Reina. So it was a good turnout.
Thank you.
And then, yeah.
Thank you, a lot of great things happening, so, thank you. All these different events are important. So with that, we'll move on to our city manager's report.
Yeah, thank you, for, supporting my family leave. I'm back, so a little bit tired, but I'll do my best to keep up with all the things going on. Tomorrow and half day on Friday, I'm gonna be attending the Regional Government Services board meeting and strategic planning meeting. Just as a reminder, I serve on the executive board of the Regional Government Services Authority, which entitles the city of Soledad to $15,000 worth of in-kind services through RGS. So that's why I do participate in that. I wanted to let folks know about on May 13th, Tansy will have the Vision Zero workshop in Soledad at the community center. So just if you guys can attend that. We are working on a town hall meeting, and I just wanted to ask quickly if people are available on we picked that date because that's Thursdays are when the traffic officers could be present, but I know many of you had requested to do some type of town hall / listening session discussion about some of the traffic safety needs in the community.
Megan, okay,
On the 29th?
On the 29th, yeah, so I thought we could do it with part of this, but I guess it's not gonna work, right? I'm available on the 29th, council, for now, so can you guys check your calendars to see if there's any availability?
I do have a strategic planning, committee with the Solid Waste Authority at 5 o'clock. Okay, on that week.
Okay, but if we can have, I mean, we can have the majority of the council, or do we need, is it gonna be like a council, like a agendized town hall? Does it have to be? I mean, if we're gonna have a town hall, I know the purpose of that town hall, what we wanted, and Tansy's coming in with their Vision Zero, and a lot of what they're gonna be talking about is a lot of what we've already talked about in terms of initiatives we have with traffic, and being able to share that with our community, but also listening to some of the concerns in regards to, obviously, we all know that there's been issues with a lot of the pedestrian accidents, so I thought we could do the same, or are we gonna do it separately?
Yeah, we're gonna do it separately because the Tansy one, they have a specific thing that they have to fulfill. They're doing it. We're part of multiple cities that are doing this Vision Zero plan, so they have to do it exactly the same way.
I think it's related to the services that we're providing for the circulation.
Yeah, no, it is, but I thought it would have an opportunity for us to be, because a lot of the information is what we already shared in regards to, because it's gonna include the safe routes to school and data, and that I thought it would be a good time for us to also share what we're doing to address a lot of what we already saw in our safe routes to school plan as part of that Vision Zero comprehensive.
Yeah,
But we can do it on the 29th, so we can have a separate one, so I just.
and we could treat it almost like a study session. I guess I can work with Mike on how to notice it.
Yeah, because the MSD is doing this to collect information so they can support their circulation bus in Greenfield, so it will allow them to have enough time to do their presentation. Oh, Tansy.
Yeah, this is Tansy.
Oh,
So we'll do okay, so council, is everybody good on the 29th?
What time?
With the exception, but I think we wanna make sure we have, what time it'll be in the evening.
Probably I would imagine 6.
Yeah.
We're going to post that on the agenda, right?
Yeah.
Since we're gonna do-
Yeah, so we just wanna make sure people the council's available in majority, so that way we can move forward with it, since I know we've been working on this for a bit. Councilmember Caldera, can you confirm here also?
I'm good for the 29th years.
Okay.
Then if we can post multiple times. Make sure people like.
Yes, we can start working on that.
We probably need an outreach plan, like an outreach efforts and how we can support this one. So it's May 29th at 6. Okay, so
And place to be determined, because we haven't seen if the community centers available there. Well,
so
we'll find. To be determined.
yeah, to be determined at this time. Okay, thank you, Megan, for following up on that.
Sure, and then I did want to let you know, in terms of the chambers, the reason why the chambers wasn't available today is because the equipment was not available as we thought it would be available. But they did tell us today that they did get the equipment. So hopefully we'll be able to finish up next week, do training and be prepared for May 21st. We are also working, Jesus Yanes and I are also working on some of the strategic planning stuff and pulling things together. We do have a draft that we're kind of trying to get in better shape, but we will be circulating it back to council. And then we also are going to, because we want to help this with our budgetary process, we will be sending you back some information about what the top priorities are. That everyone was able to respond to, what the top priorities are moving forward and look at how that aligns with the budget. So some of that information will be coming forth. And lastly, we've been talking to the Crusaders about hot summer days. And we anticipate that will come back to council for consideration, but Darlene has been great in helping herd the cats. She's the expert cat herder. If anyone knows about Darlene and her love of cats. So anyhow, that is it for my report.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Megan. Council, any questions or comments for Megan? Megan, what was the date for the House Summer Days?
It is gonna be different this year. It's going to be July 26th. Is that right, Darlene?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, which is really helpful because having it so close to 4th of July is really challenging. So this year, Salinas is not doing our car show, so we were able to push it back.
Okay, thank you. So with that, then we'll move on to future agenda items, and I'll start with Councilwoman Granados.
None.
Mayor Pro Tem Cabrera. Councilman Gonzalo Sanchez.
Yes, I wanted to just, see if we can move forward, with some sort of like ordinance or resolution or something, just like recognizing, letting folks know that we stand behind the transgender community, not just the plus community. Especially in light of a lot that has been happening at the federal level. They've taken away, a lot of history from like, archives and stuff about the community and. I think that is important. And is it?
Yeah, thank you. And I think the other, just to add to that, I know before you had mentioned adopting a statement of anti-hate as well. So I know people can look at some language for that.
Thanks, yeah.
Okay. Councilmember Rivera. Megan, I just want to, I don't know, well, I guess it could be a future agenda item. I was approached by several community members in regards to the 5G antenna that is going up on, Gavin. And so there was a lot of concern in regards to the health, safety, why this location was chosen, and obviously a lot of the concerns regarding potential long-term impacts, exposures. So I try to do my best to remember the dialogue that we had several years ago regarding this project and how it came to be. But I do want to ask if we can please have information or one page or bring it back to council to ensure that all the council is appraised of how this project is, in case you're approached by community members about this. I know once it started going up, it was really concerning to some folks, and understandably, right? And I think these are the discussions we had and we're approving that at that time.
So, yeah, and I can work with Mike. We could probably provide some information, but just note, we don't have, the federal government stripped away all of those considerations were related to cell towers. So you really can't make safety findings as a way to prohibit the installation of cell towers. So we just want to be careful of what people can expect. We can share information about the act, which does limit those considerations so that people are aware that local jurisdictions control is pretty much regarding aesthetics. We're very limited in what we can we can control as it relates to cell towers. So we could maybe put that information together so that you can share that, but I just wanna.
That's not to say that there aren't standards in existence with respect to safety, so they're just federal standards that are applicable to the projects.
Yeah, and I couldn't remember because I knew obviously we had a discussion back then, but if we can do that, and so we were able to say, we obviously approved it because we had to, but I know the discussion of safety was brought up at that time. So if we can put that together, I think having the council have some bullet points would be really helpful in our discussions with the community. But I wanted to address that because the community members there reached out to me and I did share with them that they can come to the meeting. But if they weren't present, which they're not, that I would voice their concern about this matter. So I want to make sure that stays on record in regards to the residents that reached out to me concerned about this. And also, I think at that time, and I know that you guys are working on it, we did talk about aesthetics, because aesthetics was something we could do. But there was other two pine trees or other pine trees that were gonna be planted at the time, so it's not just this big tree.
Yeah,
Isolated.
there's a total of two, I think there's 4 trees, I have to. double check.
Landscaping plan.
Yeah, we can provide that information, to the public.
Point of information as well, I know that the city could post something small today. I reshared it already on my story, and also just another point of information, this was passed long before I was for city here, just so the public knows.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I want to make a comment because I was here, so I was part of those discussions. But thank you for sharing that post as well and putting that out. I think that's going to be important, but yeah, there was concern, so I wanted to make sure I made those comments. And then just on the other agenda items that I had, Megan, is I know we talked about inviting the owner of the marketplace, the Soledad Marketplace, to come and provide like quarterly updates in regards to where they're at with future potential businesses, and making sure that the community stays informed about that. So if we can reach out to them, I know he did, when he was here the last time, did say that he can come and provide updates to the council and the community.
Yes, we can take a look at, what the timing. I'll admit I'm a little leery because we're also engaged in some, development. I don't want him to lobby you guys before, applications are going to be coming forward. So I just want to be a little bit cautious because there's a couple of things he's been asking for us to do. So I can coordinate that with Mike and figure out the best timing of that so that it does, again, it's an update, but it does become a lobbying item unless appropriately agendized, so.
Okay, yeah, just so we can have it, I think it's been on my future agenda items. And then the last is just an announcement, because I forgot to make it, I know we have a lot of them, but the city is supportive of Celebration Nation Foundation, who's gonna be doing their Mother's Day event at Cesar Chavez Park, and this is for their Madres Campesinas, but everybody's welcome, all the mothers. It's a free event that is scheduled for May 10th, which is Mexican Mother's Day. And that's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Cesar Chavez Park.